2 Timothy 3:16 reads this way: all scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness. And as we study the scripture, it shows us how to live. It gives us some very good guidelines on how we should live, and it sometimes corrects us, rebukes us, and focuses us on doing what we should do. It gets us on the side of doing things right. When I was growing up on the farm, we had some horses, and it was very interesting to watch my dad train a young horse how to work with another horse in pulling a sleigh. And the way he would do it is he would, and usually this happened in the wintertime, we had a sleigh with a big pole up the middle, and then the horses would be hitched on either side of this pole. There would be something they called a double tree on a pivot right near the back of the pole, near the front of the sleigh, and then two what they called single trees off the side of that. And so Dad would take the experienced horse and hook him on this side, and then take that young horse, who was probably about 2 years old at the time, put him on the right-hand side, and then there would be a yoke on the front of the horse that would tie them together. And so the horse, the new horse, would be all skittish and not knowing what was going on, not used to having a harness placed on it. And then Dad would click the reins, and the experienced horse would take off right away, and the young horse wouldn't know what to do. And pretty soon that single tree would whack him in the back of the legs, and he'd go charging forward because he'd get spooked. And when he'd go running forward like that, he would be pulling the whole weight of the sleigh by himself. And the experienced horse would let him do that. And then as his energy started to flag, he would start hanging back a little bit further, and then a single tree would whack him in the back of the legs again, and they'd go charging forward. And they'd go out in the snowy field for a while, just drive in circles. And the experienced horse would just keep plodding along, and the younger one would be going back and forth all the time, charging forward, again, then hanging back, getting whacked in the legs, going forward again. And when half an hour was up, they'd come back to the barn, and the young horse would be all lathered up from the exertion. And the older horse was just fine. It hadn't been much of a workout at all. But over time, this young horse would learn how things worked. And it took him a few tries like that before he finally figured out how to get on the right side of things going well. And I think that's what God does for us through the scriptures. He corrects us and rebukes us, helps us to get on the right side of how we should live.